Hi, how are you? You doing good? For this week's video, I decided that I'm going to do a sketchbook tour, my first ever sketchbook tour. And I'm going to start this off by saying, first and foremost, I am a hobbyist. I'm an artist, but I'm a hobbyist, and drawing and painting are one of my hobbies. I am an untrained artist. I haven't been to college or visual arts of any kind, so keep that in mind. I am not a sketchbook artist. My sketchbook is, as you can see, very messy. It is for practicing, it's for figuring out composition, it's for ideas, it's all of that mixed in with a few, like thorough pieces, art pieces thrown in. But it's very archaic, very chaotic. It's amateur, and it's a lot of practice and a lot of trash. I'll just be honest, there's a lot of trash in here, okay? So this, I don't have the paperwork for this anymore, but I did buy this at Walmart. I think this was like, it was $4 or $5, something like that. I will be rebuying this because I'm not gonna lie, the spiral aspect of it was just magical. And that if I'm doing a full-on art piece, I'm gonna spend weeks, maybe even 3 or 4 months sometimes completing it. So my sketchbook is gonna be open, shut, open, shut, open, shut, because I might work on this like 5 times in a day. The spiral binding really helped for that. And I think I'm gonna only work in a spiral from now on. So, and as you can see, I did decorate it with some washi tape. I will link the washi tape set down below. And this is a printable from Etsy. I will link that down below. With all that being said, we'll just go ahead and get started. So this was the sketchbook that I started. It was the very first sketchbook I bought in like 2021, I think, when I decided, you know what, I am going to start drawing and I'm going to start working to hone my passion. And so I got a drawing, instructional drawing book, and these were some of the exercises it had you do. And so that was my first page. Loved this way of shading, but yet I never went back to try to do it again. This bottom picture, I remember when I did it, I loved it so much. If you can't tell, I'm a huge fan of Tim Burton. And there's the date when I started the sketchbook. And I just loved what I did here. I still love it. I still love it. I should scan it so that I can have a digital copy. Basically what I did was I took this exercise and I kind of made it into this. And I love it. And that was my first page. And then I did this sketch of my eye. And I actually really like it. And in the reference photo, my pupil did actually look like a heart. This is when I started realizing that I am obsessed with colored pencil. I remember being really proud of that. This was my first time trying to learn the whole face framing thing. I still am not good at that. But this was my first time trying that. This was my first time executing it. Terrible. This was a copy of an image that I found online, and I used markers obviously for it. I don't think I loved it nor hated it when I did it. This was from a drawing book. And this was the beginning of my love for rainbow pencils. And that is a massive theme and continues to be a massive theme 4 years later. I love rainbow pencils. Absolutely love rainbow pencils. This was also from a drawing instructional book. Making it metallic, that was my idea. I think these metallic markers were from Dollar Tree, I'm pretty sure. And then this was just from my mind, like from my imagination. I don't know what that was about, to be honest. And the choice of color for the letters and then color for everything else clashed. So like now looking at it, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, where's the color theory? So then this is my husband's eyeball. And I was so proud of this when I did it. I'm still so proud of this. I mean, look at the veins, the blood vessels in the corner of his eye. I mean, I just can't. I think that's so good. And then just some pencil sketches that I didn't finish. This is actually like my lily from outside. Really think I did good on the shading with the pencil. And then this is the first complete art piece that I did in this sketchbook. And this took, I don't know, a couple weeks, a few weeks. And this is from a reference photo that I took with peppers that I grew myself. And considering this was 4 years ago, I'm still really proud of it. I'm really, really proud of it. And even my line work at the end is really good. So yeah, I love this. I need to digitize it. This was a copy of a image that I saw on Pinterest, I think. Yeah. And then this is from my imagination. It's a voodoo doll, and I was kind of playing around with perspective. And then this is Sam from Trick or Treat, one of my favorite characters of all time. And I actually really, really like how this came out. I like how I did his buttons. I like his little lollipop. I like it. Simple. I like how it came out. I always meant to go back and do, more pictures of the character, but I didn't. This was, I forget how to say this Pokemon. It was a coworker that I'm still friends with on Facebook. It was a coworker, and it's her favorite Pokemon, and so I drew it. And used markers, obviously. Not my favorite, not the best. And then this was just another life sketch. This was when I started the habit of sketching on my lunch break at work. And this was just my banana peel after eating lunch outside. And it's probably one of my favorite sketches I've ever done. Probably in my top 10. Just because it's so realistic. I love it. And then this is Birdo from, I forget what game I was inspired. I think the Mario Golf came out that year, I think. And more of the rainbow pencil. I love the rainbow pencils. Obviously, this is just a quick sketch from my imagination. Loving the rainbow. And here is another sketch of one of my flowers. I think this was a sunflower. And I guarantee that I meant to go back and fill it in with colored pencils and never did. Love it. I think I did really good on it. And ribbons. I love to do ribbons. I don't do them enough. But a play on black and white and rainbow. I actually love this very much. I love it. And this was an idea that I never finished. It was just so much work. Find your own magic, I'm pretty sure is what it was going to say, but it was going to be all in these dominoes. I don't know why I was obsessed with dominoes for a minute, but it was taking so much work to do the dominoes that I got discouraged. And this was the beginning of a sketch that I went further with in my other sketchbook. More ribbons, but this one just more charcoal-y. And then I was going to do a watercolor mushroom piece, and I was trying to decide what type of mushroom I wanted to do. These are not my original, these are copies of images I found on Pinterest, I think. So that's what these are, and you know, they're good. And then this is completely from my own imagination. It was after doing these, like just completely copying from the internet, and I'm like, well, let's do something from my imagination. So I did this witch's hat, and I loved the little stars, but I didn't like how I did the hat. But I liked how I did the buckle, the shading on the buckle. And there are a lot of blank pages in this sketchbook, but as you can see, this was a well-loved, well-used sketchbook, and I just decided I will go back later one day and use these blank pages, but I'm setting the book aside for right now. This was going to be an in-depth piece. I was going to shade all the flowers and then shade in the background, and again, it was just, by the time I finished drawing all the flowers, it became too much. Maybe I'll go back and do it one day. But oh, another piece that I did not finish. Yeah, morning glories were actually morning glories that I grew. The leaves look more like alocasia leaves than morning glory leaves, but I'm really super proud of the bee and how I sketched it. But I think what threw me off is the wording that I used. Beauty is the key to happiness. Everyone that saw this sketch was taking that different than how I meant it. The way I meant it was like finding beauty in the world is the key to happiness. Like in finding beauty in simple things. But everyone said that it came off a different way. So I don't know. I just stopped working on it. But I love the composition. I love it. And then this was a project I did. I don't know when I did this, but I think that a couple years jumped, because these I think were still 2021, 22 maybe is when I did this. But this is from 2023, Christmas 2023. And I made homemade gift tags for my family. And that's what this is. So this was a design I came up with on my own. So was this. And this was stamps. And then Rolos. I'm really proud of this. I like that. And this I didn't finish. These were actually for an art journal layout that I never did. You'll find me not finishing things. It's a theme in my life, and I hope that doesn't bother you. So this was a lunchtime sketch at work, and it's just a Walmart bag. It's a Walmart bag of our trash that we had tied up on our lunch table. That's what that is. And then a roly-poly with markers. Roly-polies are really sentimental to me because of my grandma. So I did that. This is way later. I did this like this year. And again, it's my love of rainbow. And this is completely from my imagination. It's a little pond. There's a little walkway up here, and then a little bench. There's tulips everywhere, and then little weeds. Trees here. The sun. And then this little guy fishing. He's got a bite. So that's what that was. I actually love this. I don't know why. And then this is an unfinished sketch of one of my plants. It's my string of, what is that? I think that's my string of hearts. Yeah. I don't have that plant anymore, but yeah, I didn't finish it. But I was doing pretty good on it before I gave up. And then this is, I didn't know what to draw one day right here in the art room, and I just started sketching things that were on my desk with my rainbow. When all else fails, when I want to fight art block, I know I need to get something down in my sketchbook, but I am uninspired. I'll just grab my rainbow pencil and sketch whatever. And it always works. So this is my electric pencil sharpener, nail polish, phone stand, a little stress reliever mushroom. This is my favorite thing on the whole page, is this roll of washi tape. And then this was a little stress reliever dinosaur, like a little squishy. And I did it from 2 angles. And I love him. He's my second favorite thing. So actually, for what it is, I love this page. And then this is a quick sketch of my dog Maria. I was trying to be, I don't know what I was, she's got this big massive bed. She was laying with this big ball, and Bruce says it looks like a possum, and he's not wrong. And then these are definitely in my top 10 works that I'm most proud of. And these are the Snickers pumpkins that they came out with, I think, last year. They were from 2 different angles with different colors used. But this one is okay. This one is okay, you know. But this one is literally amazing. I love how I just love how I did it. Is it perfect? No. As you can see, you know, I got out of the lines, you know, but that's how my art is. My art is never perfect. But I love it. I love that. And then this is another one of my favorites. This is our neighbor's house. It's from an actual reference photo I took of a bird just up there, and the sky was so pink. And this is markers. I think this is Tombow markers. And then I used some colored pencil. I love it. I'm so proud of it. Sometimes I hate and sometimes I'm okay with the marker lines. They kind of look like the sky. But I love that. And just some exercises. I love these kind of exercises. I always think about going back and, you know, doing something with colored pencil, but I haven't yet. This was for Drawtober or Drawloween. I don't remember. But the whatchamacallit was Silence of the Hams. And my husband came up with this idea of lambs or sheep, you know, that couldn't talk, and then a ham radio. And I never shared this anywhere because I didn't know if you could really tell offhand that these were zippers. And I didn't like this one. But overall, I like the drawing. That is why I had intended to do this, the Silence of the Hams idea. And so this was me kind of doing a study of a ham radio. I spent a lot of time on this. I really loved how I did the knobs here. I think I did really good on the knobs. And then this is just a pencil sketch of a string of hearts bloom in black and white. And I love it. I love that. And then this was for CALMTOBER. You've already seen the finished product, which this isn't it, but you've already seen the teapot in a video I uploaded last year. But this was me working it out, figuring it out. These are from two reference ideas that I found online, and then these are from once I decided what I was going to do. I wanted to do a Fiesta teapot. This was my first attempt, and as you can see, the dimensions were wrong. So then I did this one, and this one was a lot better. But the one I did in my CALMTOBER sketchbook I love it. It's the best of all three. And then this was me figuring out the Fiesta logo. There's like 4 or 5 different versions of the Fiesta logo, so I was just figuring out which one I wanted to use. And then this was Nightingale. This was my first idea for Nightingale, but instead I went with something else that also, these CALMTOBER videos, I'll link them in the down bar if you're interested in watching what I ultimately did. But this was my first, sketch. Just blah. And then oil lamp. This was also my first sketch and idea for oil lamp. And it's fine. Both of these are fine. They didn't have any of me in them. So I went different directions for both of them. And then this was the first sketch for the bear prompt, which I didn't finish. I didn't finish the sketch, but this is where I was coming up with the idea. These are notes for the prompt that I haven't yet finished, and it was for the prompt library, moth, and rain. I still have to finish this prompt and film it. This was my first idea for rain. I was going to do library and... Actually, no, I was going to do all of them. This was my first idea, and this was my husband's idea, I think, but I just didn't like it. This is when I figured out what I was going to do, and these were more notes on it. These are the little Debbie Christmas tree cakes. I was going to do clay charms, and these were like pre-sketches for the design. I never ended up making the charms. And these were more little Debbie sketches. This was the snowflake brownie. That's what that was. Obviously it was terrible. And I was going to try to do the snowflake brownie, but I was holding it, and it wasn't coming out terrible, but like I was confused with the fingers. This was when I decided I was going to try to teach myself faces. I started by doing a self-portrait, just like eyeballing it, And oddly, I love this. My husband hates it, and I actually love it. I just wish I'd have done the hair better. I love doing like shock art of myself. Like taking something about myself that I hate or disgusts me and then turning it into a sketch. I end up loving it. I don't know why. I have issues with my forehead wrinkles and that's what this was, and I love it. I love it. Actually, this is after I started to actually learn and practice the faces, and it's a lot better. And I like this one. I like it. And then more faces as I was learning. This one reminds me of Jill from Home Improvement. I don't know why. I think this one is my favorite. I don't know. I love how I did her hair. I just love it. I love how sketchy her features are. And this one, I love her eyes. And I love the little stretchy necklace. And then this one, this is kind of a self-portrait, because you see it's got my mole right there. I like the hair on this one too. Now I have completely forgotten what I learned. This was a year ago, and I've already forgotten how to do that. So, and then I moved on and I started working on lips. I didn't get very far. Yeah. And then it was getting close to Christmas time, and this is an old vintage bubble light bulb. This is just a first sketch. And then more, this was the warm-up. I was warming up to do this shape, and I did this warm-up beforehand. And then this is just, yeah, out of practice is what it says. This is a picture, this is a sketch of disgust, basically. And then this is the bubble light bulb finished piece. Unfortunately, I didn't use a ruler and I didn't measure for the outline of the box. It's unfortunate because I spent so much time on this piece otherwise, but I still love it. I still love it. Really, really love it. And the reference photo was an actual photo of like a box from a replacement bulb. And this was the practice to do the shape for this. I was sketching some of my crystals. This is tiger's eye, selenite, and this is kiwi jasper. And I absolutely love this. I like these. I just wish I'd used better pencils because it is fading. But yeah, I think they're good. Really good. I like them. And this, I was figuring out text for a journal that I made for my mom last year for Christmas. This is another lunchtime sketch at work. It was my husband's little barbecue bottle. And I love it. He loved it too. I loved the lid. I did really good on that. And this is a random recipe that I came up with by accident fixing myself lunch for work one day. And I decided to write it down and then I drew it. Pause it if you want to try it yourself. And I did mean to go back and color that in, and of course have not yet. This is a study from a reference photo. It was just a quick 10-minute sketch, I think. I love the little guy. He's so cute. I like it. And then this is, today I wanted to eat a croissant, and I went to a place that sells croissant. You know the TikTok. This was in tribute to that. And I actually really like how I did the croissant. And then this was just messing around with donuts. I didn't go back and finish, but I like where I was going. I think it's good. This was going to be a product label for a wax melt that I was working on. And I probably still will do this one day, hopefully. I'm not going to tell you about the collection, but the name of this scent was going to be They Grew Overnight. I like how it was coming. I was doing good on the roses, actually. And then this was a painting that I'm still going to do. I got this idea to do like series of paintings that were based on my favorite movies from when I was a teenager, like the 90s. And this was the first idea I had for Robin Hood, the Kevin Costner movie. It was like a note, like a rough draft of it. It's the scene where they're on the wall and he reaches up on this, like, I think it's an oak tree, and he grabs a branch and he says, "Look, mistletoe. Many a maiden lost her resolve to me thanks to this little plant." And he says, "In my country, we talk to our women. We do not drug them with plants." And then I had the idea that I was going to have like down here like an insert where actual mistletoe. Anyway, I do still really want to do that because I think it was an ingenious idea. And I already had the other 3 compositions like thought of for that series. And then this is more hand exercises. And this is a pencil sketch rendition of a mushroom picture I found on the internet. I actually really like that. When all else fails, either I draw mushrooms or I use a rainbow pencil. And it always works. Oh, this is another picture that I will go back and finish. This is completely from my imagination. And it's using the Derwent Graphitent pencils, which I freaking love. And it's just the really basic, generic, little... But I love it. Love it. This is inspired by the Spell Shop, which unfortunately I ended up DNFing, and I will be doing like a first half of 2025 book update. I just haven't got around to doing it yet, but this is the character Kaz, or my idea of the sentient spider plants. I like how I did his roots, and then I did his name as roots. I actually really like that. And then this is, it was Valentine's Day, obviously, and this is, I was watching the Lindsay the Frugal Crafter's hearts chocolate box video, and I was thinking about doing it, and that's where that came from. And then this, I don't know about that. More exercises, except I love this page. I love it. I love this page. Love it. And then this is my husband's little sweet tea, squirt stuff. Another lunchtime sketch. And this was from a reference photo, but I kind of made it my own. They're tomatoes. I spent a while on this, and I like it. And this part right here, I like what I find funny is that these little parts right here where like the seeds would be, they look semi-realistic, but then the rest of it looks so stylized and funny. But I like that. I like that. And this was just a weird sketch. It's supposed to be a tornado. And the last sketch in the sketchbook is this one. Also with the Derwent Graphitints, and also with that same chalk pencil, but I don't know what it was. And this was my Valentine's, was it? It was my Valentine's flowers, because this is from March 9th. And this was just a quick lunchtime sketch at work as well. I love how I did these flowers, particularly that one. So yeah, we did it. My first ever sketchbook tour, and I feel good about it, actually. I thought that I was going to be super embarrassed, and who am I to try to show you my sketchbook, but going back through everything, I looked at it differently, and I really like everything. Even the stuff that's not finished, even the stuff that's terrible, it shows a lot of progress and a lot of dedication and a lot of passion. And I hope you liked it. I do know that I had promised that the next video would be drawing and painting, coming up with the logo and the banner for the channel. However, I already changed those with art that I previously did, because here's the thing. If I say I'm going to do something once I say that to anyone, then it just solidifies the fact that I will never actually do that. So, and I apologize. I apologize for being that way. So I don't know what the next video will be, but look forward to a new video next Friday. And until then, I love you all so much, and I will see you next time.